As we kind of walk into school, we're really going to be working with our students on how to properly wash their hands, how to make sure that we're using sanitizer every time we come in and out of the classroom, every time we might want to touch something new that we might have to share, that we're sanitizing our hands kind of in and out. We're going to talk about and teach and model how do we appropriately sneeze and cough into our arms, how do we make sure we sanitize our hands after that, and of course the importance of their mask, how they put their mask on, how they take their mask off, where they store their mask. All of those things are important pieces to making sure we have a clean and healthy environment. It will be really important that we're really mindful and we begin to make a change in our mindset about how we feel when we're sick. And now it's going to be really important that when we're not feeling well, that we take the time and we don't come to school when we're experiencing any symptoms at all, but particularly any symptoms related to COVID-19. And when you are experiencing those symptoms, we're going to work from the framework as if you have COVID-19 until you're able to provide us with a letter that indicates an alternate diagnosis or a negative test for COVID-19. One of the important pieces to us keeping a clean and healthy environment is that we're doing those self-monitoring and those checks every morning, and that parents are making sure they're checking in with their kid, they're not experiencing any of those symptoms. And as those students arrive at school, we're also going to be standing at our doors and as students enter buildings, checking their temperatures as just an additional double check to make sure that everybody's well and ready to participate in the school day. So if somebody should happen to have COVID, test positive, or receive a diagnosis from their doctor, we're asking that our families report that immediately into their health office of their school. And once we have that information, what we're going to do is we're going to notify the local health department so that they know that we have a case. We're also going to follow up with a letter to the parent explaining what are the steps that you need to take. So for instance, we know that minimally we're going to ask students to be out for 10 days. And that before they can return to school, their symptoms have to be getting better, they have to be fever-free without any medication, and they have to have a release from their health department indicating that they can re-enter school and that they are no longer being asked to self-isolate. So it's really very important that our students and our staff are wearing their masks at all times. And we're really going to require that our students and staff have those masks on from the minute that they arrive with us. While they're riding the bus, they should have those on all throughout the school day. The only times we're really going to take those masks off are during eating or drinking, in which case they'll be seated and we'll be looking to make sure we're maintaining that 6 feet of distance at all times. And if they go outside for recess, they can take that mask off at that time for a break, but they will again have to remain and monitor their 6 feet of distance from all of their peers at all times. And of course, our students who are participating in band, they'll be able to remove that in order to participate and play their instrument. The two most important steps that we'll be taking, one is making sure we're wearing a face covering at all times, and the second most important step to making sure we're healthy and safe is that we're maintaining social distance. So we will really be working with our students and our staff to make sure they understand where those boundaries are. We'll make sure that within the classroom, all desks are within 6 feet apart and that they are able to maintain that distance. And as we transition and move throughout the building, we will do our very best to make sure that continues at those times as well. We are really looking forward and excited to get our students back in school. It is so important that they're with us and they're engaging in that in-person learning. And I know that we can do this if we work together, if we unite, and we remember the importance of maintaining our social distancing, wearing those face masks at all time, and making sure we wash our hands and sanitize those hands at every opportunity.